alert and growing concerns about whooping cough in our kids. One local school district is dealing with several cases right now. Jeff Slauson with the 19 Data Journalism team explains now really what parents need to watch out for with allergies, with colds going around. There's a lot to look out for.
Yeah, allergies seems to be the #1 thing that a lot of people are dealing with at the moment. And the problem with whooping cough is that this is something that really only to confirm that you have it, you got to get tested by a doctor, because it can sound fairly similar, at least the cough in adults, to something that is just a normal cough. Or maybe you're not totally feeling down, but it is incredibly problematic for children and for kids, and that's where the concerns really start here. Medina County is where has been reporting this, and they say that they have quote-unquote probable cases in Highland local schools. They're being very vague here in this and the information that we've been getting. But by saying Highland local schools, that is very clearly showing us it's not just one school or one classroom or one particular segment of that school's population. It can spread out pretty quickly. In fact, a lot of the reports are that in non-school age siblings, that's where they're seeing a lot of these cases, and that's where it can be a real problem. Now, as I mentioned, for adults, it's not necessarily that big of a problem, but for babies and children, they are the most that are at risk. And for a lot of these situations, a child will have it passed on to them when they go to school. They'll come home to their younger sibling, younger brother, younger sister, and that's where it starts to spread. Now, I want to show it to you actually just in the easiest terms that I can here as far as the actual infection. So let's have one person here in the middle. They are infected with whooping cough. Let's say that all 10 of these people are not immune to whooping cough. 8 out of 10 could contract it. That is how fast this can move. So if you're in a room of 10 people, and again, one person is infected, it can really move quickly and really start to affect those people pretty fast. Again, especially if it is in children or it is in babies. So what would you be experiencing if you're a parent trying to figure out exactly what you could be noticing from your child? A slight fever, a mild or occasional cough. You could have a runny nose, or you could even have a pause in breathing for babies. That is something definitely to monitor if you do have a very, very small child. But then what happens after a few weeks? This is where adults would start to see this as well. Prolonged, repeated, or violent coughing episodes, whooping sounds when inhaling, vomiting, or you're really starting to feel sick, and exhaustion because you are coughing so much. If you'd like more information on this, head to our website right now at cleveland19.com. All of the links there and where you can go if you're looking to get tested.